6, 2003, and then today. The biggest days ever in the NBA free agency period is underway on this Sunday, and man, it's already been a kicker. I'm your man, Terrell Thomas, and as always, I'm joined by Mr. Cregg Armstrong. H is in the building, and it's an amazing Sunday afternoon for sports lovers and NBA fans alike. Breaking news is taking place all afternoon long, but some things are now official. Gotham City just got a lot more scary. I guess we can say that. And it's not about the New York Knicks.
Well, we knew that.
It's the Brooklyn Nets. Hello, Brooklyn.
Hey.
Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving both have made the announcements that they intend and will be signing with the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie Irving's deal, will be 4 years, $141 million, while Kevin Durant's deal will be 4 years, $164 million. Kevin Durant could have signed a 5-year, $221 million deal with the Golden State Warriors, but now his new chapter begins in Brooklyn. Of course, there's a whole bunch of Rock Nation movement going around. KD took to the boardroom to actually make the announcement, had Biggie playing on Instagram and everything, so that's dope. He's already embracing the culture.
Well, you know, he's East Coast dude, so.
Got to give some love. Coach Bud, who was once here in Atlanta, you know how I feel about Bud. His cabinet, it just continues to get better and better. Brooklyn Nets coach Kenny Atkinson was once here as an assistant with the Atlanta Hawks, and now all the attention will be in Brooklyn. Now, we know Kevin Durant will not play next season. Who knows what will happen if the Brooklyn Nets do make the postseason and if Durant decides to make a return in that stint, or if it'll be during the 2020-2021 season. Kyrie Irving, however, will be there next year. What are your thoughts on Brooklyn? Are they the new favorite in the East? And are you surprised that Kevin Durant was no longer a member of Dub Nation?
I'm not surprised. I guess we can go ahead and say it now. I remember when Coach Phil Handy came and did his interview here, he told, me and Brandon, he was like, wherever Kyrie and Kevin go, it's gonna be a package deal. He said they could have went to Memphis and they were going together. So this doesn't really surprise me here. Them being the favorite, with KD out, it's gonna still be tough because you gotta still look at Milwaukee. We're going to talk about, everything that went on with them later. But Milwaukee still has to be looked at as a favorite. You got Indiana with Oladipo coming back, and we'll talk about their moves too. So it's going to be I know we usually say Wild Wild West, but right now, it's looking like that might pertain to the East too right now. So
I do wonder how fans feel in Golden State right now. I wonder what's the temperature like in Golden State right now.
We'll see if we get any videos of burning jerseys or anything like that.
So is this a new, or could we say, is this the urban or the hip hop form of Batman and Robin here, with Durant being Batman and Kyrie Irving being Robin?
This is maybe. What I'm looking forward to most is the press conferences. Don't let them lose with both of them, because they're both real sensitive. They don't like the press. As for them to be in New York, they sure are asking for it. But Kyrie's always been best as a sidekick. No disrespect, but without him having to carry the mantle, I think he can let his game flow. It's going to be nice seeing him cook somebody in them Coogee jerseys. So, I guess New York needs some kind of sports team because, Knicks, it don't look like they're going to do nothing with that $70 million they got. So
the Knicks are kind of the laughing stock right now, and as far as New York sports franchises are concerned, maybe even NBA franchises are concerned. But the Nets didn't stop there with just Durant and Irving. They'll also be bringing over DeAndre Jordan, who was previously with the New York Knicks, and Garrett Temple. Pretty good defender, great wing defender, I guess you could say. They say he's a great teammate in the locker room. That was one of the jokes thrown out there about him. He's a great teammate in the locker room. So the Nets could possibly make some noise in the Eastern Conference next year. It's presumed, of course, that they'll renounce the rights to D'Angelo Russell. They could work something out with Golden State as far as a sign and trade, three-team sign and trade as far as Brooklyn and some other teams we'll mention in a moment.
it really doesn't make sense for the Nets to do it anyway.
No, it doesn't. It won't make sense for the Nets unless they do it with Golden State, allowing the Nets to get a 5-year deal with Durant and versus the 4-year deal.
That, or if they involve Golden State and maybe you kind of, well, no, it still doesn't make sense. That's the only way it makes sense if you do a sign and trade with Durant. Because if you do a sign and trade with Kyrie, because I know they're trying to work out this 3-team trade with, Kyrie, with
what's
them and all that, but it just don't make sense to me.
It doesn't. But speaking on what you just went to mention, Kyrie Irving is going in Brooklyn and Boston and taking his talents to Brooklyn. So that means that there is a spot open in Boston. And we now know that Kemba Walker will actually be taking his talents to Boston and joining the Boston Celtics on a 4-year, also $141 million deal. Of course, Kemba Walker is a UConn Husky, so he's familiar with the area. He's familiar with the New England area, from New York. What do you think about how Kemba Walker will fit in Boston and how he'll fit in Brad Stevens' offense? We've seen with Kyrie Irving's success. We've seen the success of Isaiah Thomas, Scary Terry, even Terry Rozier. We've seen him have some success. So a guard with the tools that Kemba Walker possesses, what type of success do you see him having as a member of the Celtics?
I see him having great success in this system. I mean, when you have a system where you let Isaiah Thomas, become a top 3 MVP player, Terry Rozier look like he's an all-star in the playoffs. Kyrie, Kyrie's gonna look good wherever he goes just because he's talented. But I think Brad Stevens is gonna figure out how to utilize Kemba the best he can. It's almost like you're getting a good mixture between Isaiah Thomas and Kyrie. You're getting a skilled player, just like Kyrie was skilled. I'm not saying he's on the same level as Kyrie, but you look at their numbers in the last 300 games, they're literally averaging the same points and assists. And Kemba's doing that with a worse team. But he's still miniature, so you're still going to have to hide him on defense a little bit.
He's missed 2 games in his career, though.
Yeah, he's definitely...
He's a warrior out there.
He's definitely an Iron Man out there. Like, what I always tell y'all, your best ability is your availability. He's got that, so I don't have a problem with that. I think it's actually a great sign by them.
I agree. I love Kemba in this offense. I love Kemba as far as playing alongside Jason Tatum. I think that's going to be a pretty powerful 1-2 punch in itself. I think we're going to see the best out of Tatum. Kemba's not a selfish leader. He knows how to get his and distribute the ball at the same time.
I think Kemba's shown the ability to be a leader as well. And I think that's the difference between him and Kyrie. Kyrie has never shown the ability to lead a team. Kemba has been to the playoffs with the Hornets, and we can all talk about Kemba's definitely worked with less. You know what I mean, in terms of getting them to the playoffs. His best teammate has been who? Nicholas Batum.
That's possible.
So you got. That's Kemba possible. May come in and be the thing that Boston really truly needed. That he may be the point guard they needed instead of Kyrie. Like I said, not to diminish Kyrie because he's great in his own right, but he's always been best as a sidekick. Kemba may be able to go in and stabilize that locker room, make sure there are no problems. They're going to get along, so Boston is definitely on the up, but they do need a big man.
They need a big man because Al Horford is going, of course. We'll talk about possible destinations for Al. He's still he's actually available. He hasn't signed a deal with anybody.
Right. And they traded Aaron Baines on
draft night. He's now a member of the Phoenix Suns. So as you do mention, the front court is a little shaky. But we'll see what the Celtics decide to do. I also love Kemba's fit, though. I think that
Gordon Hayward is going to be a year removed from that injury.
And now he'll be able to run freely with Kemba.
Jalen.
Are they a threat? Are they back to that, to the Celtics being a threat?
I got to see what else they're going to do. Because the only person on their bench because, there's still the Morris, Marcus Morris. You got he's a free agent. Like I said, Aaron Baines is gone. Daniel Tice is a restricted free agent. Al Horford, he's a free agent. So you gotta see what you do. Like, you can go out there, but right now all you got is a guard and a whole lot of wings right now.
That's very true. So we'll see how things develop and what happens in Boston as things continue to get underway. The Orlando Magic have actually already made a lot of noise as far as free agency is concerned, and we don't know when Markelle Fultz will hit the floor. Of course, the Magic traded for Fultz late in the season. Still a lot of potential in the young cat if he gets, his health and everything in order.
I think it's more he got to get his mind right.
Well, we shall see. But we know that Nick will be staying in Orlando. So if you believe in magic and everything that Mickey Mouse and Walt Disney have going on with the Magic, Nikola Vucevic, will be signing a 4-year, $100 million deal to stay in Orlando.
That's smart.
Terrence Ross, high flyer, also great three-point specialist, has also agreed to a 4-year deal. His 4-year deal is $54 million. We have a big man moving from the West all the way up in the greater Northwest as a member of the Trailblazers. Actually, I think this is one of your homies from down here in the Atlanta area, Aminu.
Oh, Al Farouk.
Al Farouk is on his way down here. Al Farouk Aminu.
Where you going?
3-year deal.
Oh, down to Orlando.
$29 million down to Orlando.
That is the epitome of a 3-and-D right there.
So what are your thoughts? As we mentioned, Nick is staying, Ross is staying, Aminu is now signing. What are your thoughts on what Orlando is forming and what they have going down there?
Well, here's my thing with Orlando. Like, can we get a guard? Not we, because I'm not an Orlando fan, but like Markelle Fultz and Evan Fournier might be their only 2 guards on the roster. Everybody else is a forward or a big. You might need a guard or 2. What's dude name from Texas? Light skinned dude from Texas.
Augustine.
Yeah,
DJ Augustine.
He's still there.
I believe he's a free agent.
Well, you're gonna have to do something about that too. So, I think Orlando, they're one of those teams that if everybody takes that leap, they can be good because they're a really young team.
So, of course, they're down here in the Southeast.
Nerlens Noel. Okay.
Are there chances that they could possibly, of course, the Hawks are growing. The Miami Heat, we don't know what they're going to do. Charlotte, we don't know what they're going to do. So are you saying that this is Orlando's time?
If there's going to be a time, this is it. So if there's a move you can make and it's a home run move, you better do it now. Because I'm going to tell you now, not even between, the Hawks, they're going to be a problem in about a year or 2. They're a really good team. So, Orlando, if you got to move, you better do it now. Because Miami, if they do what they want to do, then, hey, you never know. This might be your window this year right here. This might be your window.
Heading out west, the Portland Trailblazers are a team that are looking to keep their core together, and they're actually extending a few cats. Now, we'll talk about Rodney Hood because he'll be coming back on a 2-year deal with the Portland Trailblazers. But Damian Lillard and the Portland Trailblazers are actually working on a 4-year, $196 million extension.
Dame dollar.
That would make his contract 6 years, $258 million. What you call that, man?
Dame dollar.
That is so fitting. That is so fitting. Shout out to Dame Dollars and Marvin Bagley. They been keeping us entertained lyrically.
And that joint was lit too.
Yeah. Both of them cats.
That joint was lit. Dame killed them both. But that joint was lit.
So it's gonna be interesting to see Trailblazers Kings matchups in the near future.
Trailblazers, y'all better watch out for them boys now.
But what do you think? Dame Dollars, as I mentioned, Rodney Hood is coming back, and they acquired Kent Bazemore in a trade with the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks sent Kent Bazemore to Portland. The Hawks received Evan Turner, who's looking to have a promising future here. We'll talk about that in future episodes to come.
For sure.
With the addition of Bazemore, of course, they just lost Aminu. We spoke on that, signing with the Magic. You
still got Harkless, though.
Have Harkless. You keep Hood. You keep Dame. What are they doing up there in Rip City?
Listen, man, they're trying to stay pat but do what they can to improve. You know what I mean?
Can they return to the Western Conference Finals?
Well, I think so. you know, with the Warriors being a little, for lack of a better term, crippled in this situation, they have a shot. I mean, people forget they led the Warriors in that series for all but 20-something minutes of the whole series and still got swept, though. But still, they had, you know, leads of 15, 16 points, you know, in damn near every game in that series. They have the talent. They just gotta take that next step. They went from getting swept in the first round to getting all the way to the Western Conference. This like we talk about windows. This is their window. Now you got to see what you're going to do with your bigs, because Yusuf Nurkic, he's coming off that injury, and are you going to be able to keep Enes Kanter or no? So you never know. But keeping Rodney Hood, getting Kent Bazemore, those are two wings that can shoot, contribute. Mo Harkless, Stan, Dame, and CJ, you know what you're going to get out of them. You can say they're a team to beat. And then you got, remember now, they did get Nasir Little in the draft, who slid all the way to 25.
Those are facts. I forgot about that pickup.
Anthony Simons, they pretty much redshirted him last year. Those are two players, if you think they can contribute. Everybody had Nasir Little going in the top 10 in the draft. So you never know what you might get out of him. Or if you can package them for maybe like a Kevin Love or something. I don't know. So you'll see.
Those are great scenarios right there. You hear them Armstrong bombs right there and whatnot. That's
listen, you know, hire me. That's all I can say, you know.
We have breaking news out of Philadelphia. Rocky is running up the steps right now.
Oh, boy.
The Sixers, they met with Tobias Harris right at 6 p.m. They met with Tobias Harris and his father in the downtown Philadelphia area. Tobias Harris has agreed to re-sign with the Philadelphia 76ers. So once again, breaking news, Tobias Harris has agreed to re-sign with the Philadelphia 76ers. A 5-year deal, $180 million. Woo. It's also pretty dope.
What you got to say?
You know, the Sixers are looking to run it back. We have it, Director Amar Izzy for the win in the building.
Philly's on.
You know.
Hold up. We also have more breaking news from the Sixers. We have more breaking news. A friend of the show, a friend of ours, Mike Scott. You know, we were talking about him possibly staying in Philadelphia. The city of Philadelphia was saying they want Mike Scott there. They love Mike Scott. Mike Scott came on the show and let us know he loves being there.
He also let us know what he ain't.
He ain't no bitch.
There it is.
And right now, he ain't a poor man. He's staying in Philadelphia. Nearly $10 million, 2 years.
That's a good one.
$9.8 million for Mike Scott to stay in Philadelphia. So we have Tobias Harris and Mike Scott both staying in South Philly.
Listen.
They'll be returning to the Wells Fargo Center for 41 games this upcoming season, hopefully longer when the Sixers make a postseason run. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on what the Sixers have just done?
I mean, if you're Philly, you kind of had that same situation with that, like I said, with Portland. You run it back. The best you can, you run it back, because you lost on a last second. I'm not going to say lucky. You lost on a last second shot from Kawhi. I doubt Kawhi goes back to Toronto. You got a shot. Like, this is your window. If you want to run it back, you already beat Milwaukee. Run it back. Ben Simmons, maybe he'll get out here and
Ben Simmons
shoot
may be
around
getting an
a
extension.
bit.
Ben Simmons may get an extension.
Oh yeah, I heard they were talking to Rich Paul about that.
Simmons has got a new shooting coach, and
he need a therapist.
he got a new shooting coach. You know, I was talking trash about them not being in the gym. As soon as I looked on my IG, they was in the gym. You know what I'm saying?
Is he shooting in the gym?
He got a new shooting coach.
Or is he laying the ball?
He got a new shooting coach that the league didn't want. And you know, the sick, you know, there was talk, you know, so I like that. Whenever it's a little controversy on who you're working with, that's normally a good thing. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? I like that. So he's going against the odds, against the grain to get his jump shot right, and I like that.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean?
I mean, Philly's a talented team. They got a chance to do something special. Like
Trades
I said.
though, I'm loving them. I like the where we at. I mean, I was just hoping we ain't lose too much, and I feel like we still got a little bread probably left over to do some more.
Well,
So
I mean, you
know.
re-sign Tobias, you re-sign Mike. I mean, it's two players that, you know, but we'll see how that goes.
We still got Ben and V. That's the whole everything.
There's a lot of questions surrounding Jimmy Buckets right now. If Jimmy Butler is going to stay with the Philadelphia 76ers, or if he'll look for a sign and trade with either Houston or Miami. My sources are telling me that it's looking like he may be looking to go to Miami. He's currently in Miami right now. He's scheduled to have a meeting with the Miami Heat tonight. Yeah. Now, if things do go down like that and Jimmy Butler decides to stay in Miami, he actually fell in love with the organization as the Sixers were in Miami during this current season for Dwayne Wade's farewell tour. When he saw how Heat fans, how the Heat organization wrapped their arms around Dwayne Wade, he loved that.
Hey now, you ain't gonna be no Dwayne Wade. I don't give a damn what you can do.
But he won't be. But what I can say, whoever goes to Miami next, and I'm quite sure our Miami resident will come and attest to this in a moment.
You spoke about
whatever star goes to Miami next. It was the post LeBron era. They got through that. Now the post Dwayne Wade. If a star can come to Miami, such as a Jimmy Butler, who does have, don't get me wrong, Philly, hometown Philly. I don't want to see Jimmy Butler leave and go to Miami, but I'm going to speak on scenarios where it will work for both teams. I was
about to say, I was like, because you may
it's scenarios where it can work for both teams. If Jimmy Butler does go to Miami and get them to the playoffs, I think he will be. No one will ever be beloved as Dwayne Wade. I think over time, I know a lot of Miami Heat fans, they're not the greatest lovers of LeBron for leaving. I think over time, that'll be squashed because he had championships there.
They'll end up retiring that six one day.
But I do think Jimmy Butler would be a great addition to Miami. Now, if Butler was to go to Miami, the scenarios I'm hearing would be a sign and trade and Josh Richardson and possibly Bam. Thank you very much. Lou is in the building. Or, if not Josh Richardson, Justice Winslow, and Bam. So, situations that could work out. Lou, Miami resident, what are your thoughts on what the Heat can be if Jimmy Buckets gets down there?
It just really depends on who they sign and trade for or whatever. I would love to keep Josh Richardson, but I think they'll prefer him than Justice Winslow. Even though I like Justice Winslow, he's like a Swiss Army knife. He can play every position in this new era, and if they get Richardson and Bam, then I don't want to really let go Bam. I would rather keep Bam, but if we have to let him go, I'm cool because we got Whiteside and Kelly Olynyk, and then just concentrate on getting off Ryan Anderson contract and trading Dion Waiters and Whiteside if we really want to get rid of him.
I think.
We might be able to trade Whiteside to the Washington Wizards for a sign and trade for Bradley Beal. Yeah, I'm hoping that goes.
Yeah. But that is an option.
Yeah, but for Miami, I think Jimmy Buckets, he would fit there, not just style of play, but also with the city of Miami. Mm-hmm. Now, with Philly, if they do get Josh Richardson, I think that's a great pickup too.
Great.
I know Tobias Harris expressed that he would be happy to play with his fellow Tennessee alum. You know what I'm saying? So I think it'll be a good move if they do get Josh Richardson from Miami. But Jimmy Buckets, I in my mind, I would think it's either you stay in Philly or you go to Miami. Because I don't even think Houston should be an option for you. Because why would I want to go into all that bickering and beef?
Yeah.
As we speak on Biggie anyway. But yeah.
We have more breaking news taking place. Of course, it'll be breaking news all evening long. And breaking news pretty much for the next
Probably
2 or 3
weeks.
days or so. The New York Knicks have made a signing.
They signed somebody.
The New York Knicks have made a signing. The New York Knicks have signed Julius Randle. The New York Knicks have signed Julius Randle 3 years, 63 million.
They ought to be ashamed of themselves.
Well, I'm not even going to lie to you. That's actually not a bad.
The New York Knicks have signed Julius Randle 3 years, 63 million. Now, I also have more breaking news regarding the New York Knicks. The Knicks were not prepared to sign Kevin Durant to a max deal. They were very concerned about his Achilles injury. So, in typical James Dolan form, he was not even pretty much looking.
I know Stephen A. Smith somewhere drunk.
It got to be ashamed of themselves.
So the Knicks, what are R.J. Barrett?
I think
Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson,
Dennis Smith Jr.
Lonzo Trier, Dennis Smith. People gonna be sleep. This next team ain't gonna be whack at all.
Bad. They not bad. They all just young.
I made a prediction. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, my prediction was that the Knicks will be fighting for the 8th spot.
Izzy for the
They-
win.
they-
Announce your names
my
too,
bad.
gentlemen.
Izzy-
No
Izzy-
worries.
Izzy for
Just
the
want the
win.
audience to know who you gentlemen
Izzy
are.
for the Wins made a prediction that the Knicks will not be as trash as they will. They probably be fighting for the 8th, 9th, and 10th spot in the East.
I don't think that's the only move they're gonna make. They had $70 million to spend, so you know you have to spend 90% of your cap. So we'll see what else they do. But I'm not mad at this move though. Julius Randle averaged 21 and 8 last year.
Career season for him last year.
You know what I mean? And he's a great distributor for a big man. He's a hustle rebounder. He's a good player. Now he's no Kevin Durant, of course, but I think he's a good addition to what they already have.
Now, if you're a Knicks fan and you wanted Zion, however, if you listen to Enos Cantor, Julius Randle is just Zion minus the hops. You know,
But people sleep on Randle be poking too, though. Like,
Julius Randle's a great player.
Yeah.
When he was hyped at Kentucky, he just seemed a little wild. I didn't quite see it.
He was
I kinda
just
seen
strong.
it at the end of his tenure in LA, and he damn sure had a breakout season last year.
he did. I think that's another mistake Magic Johnson made, but we'll talk about that later. But
Why do you think that?
I think if you have Julius Randle on the team, I know his concern was he can't play with LeBron. Why not? Why LeBron played with Tristan Thompson. Why can't he play with Julius Randle?
Those are stone cold facts.
So I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. And then Julius Randle is talented.
Very talented.
Julius Randle, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you still have Julius Randle on that team when LeBron gets hurt, you probably make the playoffs.
I respect that. There's
Like-
no probably about it. You do make the
you
playoffs.
you make the playoffs. Like you still have a forward who people not getting in front of him when he coming down the lane, and he's a good passer. Like people sleep on how good of a passer he is. He's a good passer. So I think that's just another mistake they made. But I think this is a good fit for New York. We got, like I said, we got to see what else they do. New York honestly can be good. They just have, if they get some more shooting, honestly, get some more shooting, you'll be fine. Get a big and some more shooting, you'll be straight.
Some of our audience is disagreeing with us out in social media world.
Who?
One of our avid listeners, Koos, is saying Julius Randle is average, that the Knicks stink, and that was a bad signing.
He must be from New York.
No,
He's a C player.
he's not a C player.
He's a B minus.
CD.
He's definitely a
CD.
C player.
I'm gonna give him a B minus. Julius Randle? Nah.
Nothing yet.
A B minus is a C.
if we're gonna keep it a buck in terms of proving,
He's a C
there's
plus
lot of people who
player.
ain't proven that.
He's a C plus player.
C plus. Woo.
He's 22.
It's a tough
He's
crowd.
a B player right now. Kemba will be in that B. Oladipo will be in that B tier.
I mean, I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that. That's why I'm gonna
Man,
still get
man.
Julius
Hold on,
Randle
but
B
what was
minus.
Kimba numbers?
Kemba.
23 and 5.
Kimba is an A minus.
Kimba was 23 and 5.
A minus B.
He an A minus guy.
Hold on, Kimba was 23 and 5. Julius Randle was 22 and 8.
Koos is saying a C player.
That was 1 year though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Had like what? His 2-3 years.
Well,
like
no, because wait a minute, because Kimba over his career is not a 23 and 5. He's a little less than that. But
He's the man of the team, so that makes him a B.
Yeah.
just because he's the only one who can get buckets on the team full of sorry people. All right, that makes sense. So I guess if we're gonna do that, then it's a lot of good people here.
It's possible, but we shall see what the Knicks are going to do. Heading back out
But
west.
like you said, typical Knicks fashion.
Yeah, I mean the Knicks doing, they do what they do, and we shouldn't be surprised.
James Dolan, you gonna get that money back anyway.
Is he worth that money?
No,
think
I'm not
so.
talking about that. I'm talking about
How much
the.
you get?
63.
I'm talking about
63,
the.
3 years.
I'm talking about the Kevin Durant
It's about 20
situation.
Oh yeah, no,
Not
yeah,
one off him the max.
Yeah, that was
like even if he doesn't come back and be KD,
he's
you
still
gonna get
one of
that
the
money
best
back
players
off ticket
and he's gonna be
sales.
one of the best players that you ever had in Knicks franchise.
He'll be the best Nick ever, and you might. And think about it. Let's say if you sign KD,
He'll be bigger than Patrick Ewing.
He better than him though.
bro, all he got to do is go to the finals. He'll be better than Patrick Ewing,
He has to win.
Yeah, you gotta win. Pat win.
and tricked it off. Hey,
Heading out west, the Sacramento Kings are also
making moves.
making big moves out there. The Sacramento Kings are making big moves. I gotta show some love and give big ups to my man Dwayne Dedmon, fellow Eagles fan, did his thing out here with the Atlanta Hawks. He's heading back home. He's originally from Lancaster, California, right outside of the LA area. So he's headed down to Sac Town. He's agreed to a 3-year, $41 million deal with the Sacramento Kings. So big man Dwayne Dedmon will be missed here in the Atlanta Hawks lineup. We've seen his game expand here in the Hawks uniform as well, from just being kind of a post paint player to expanding his game from beyond the 3-point line, rebounding and becoming that hustle. Dwayne Dedmon he gonna be a force out there in Sacramento.
Look, Sacramento. I don't agree with their coaching situation, but outside of that, they might be all right.
So another move before we get your opinion on what you think they may be able to do. The Sacramento Kings have also re-signed Harrison Barnes.
Yep.
Harrison Barnes is also re-signing with the Sacramento Kings. A lot of people made a big splash out of him opting out. He's signing 4 years, $88 million.
Also, Trevor Ariza.
Trevor Ariza. So what are you thinking? Ariza, Barnes back. Dedmon, we know with De'Aaron Fox and the young talent, Willie Cauley-Stein may be leaving. He's looking for a new start in his career. That's why Dedmon has been added. Yeah, that's why Dedmon's been added.
But they still got Harry Gow.
Yes, indeed. So what do you think about these young Kings?
Listen, man, the Kings, they have a shot. I mean, I'm not saying they're gonna win a title or nothing, but they can go to the playoffs. I mean, you have, like you said, you have De'Aaron Fox, who I personally I love De'Aaron Fox's game. I like, ever since he was at Kentucky, I liked him. De'Aaron Fox, Bogdanovich, the younger Bogdanovich, Buddy Hield. Now you add them to Harrison Barnes coming back as a wing. Trevor Ariza with his experience, he does have a ring, many playoff games. I think they might be a sleeper team.
Rudy Gay out there?
No, Rudy Gay's re-signing with San Antonio. Rudy Gay is going to be re-signing with San Antonio.
I think that the West is going to be.
It's a wild west.
It's going to be competitive, but it's
this is Jay Blizzak. Let them know where they can follow Innovative Blizzak.
Innovative
Black Station. But I think the West is going to be more just a lot of competitive teams. It's like no standout team. Like,
there's gonna be no easy night.
Yeah, it's gonna be real competitive. I mean, I think it's still like a easier path for Braun, but I think it's gonna be competitive.
You got 4 players on the team right now.
It's gonna be. That's all Braun needs. We just need to fill we gotta fill the rest of that in.
Listen,
that's easy.
All right, y'all.
That's easy.
They said that last year. Okay, it looks, because when I tell you he's gonna play about 65 games, he's gonna be on load management now. So
I mean, that's cool. We got AD.
Okay.
We shall see what the Lakers do. We're going to talk about that before the end of tonight's NBA free agency special. As always, you're tuned in to These Urban Times Live Hip Hop Daily presents Sideline Stories, the NBA free agency edition on this beautiful Sunday. And deals and agreements are being made all across the NBA. We'll stay in the Western Conference and talk about the Utah Jazz. They made a splash recently right around the draft, trading for Mike Conley. Trading for former Memphis Grizzly guard Mike Conley. So now we'll see a backcourt of Conley and Donovan Mitchell. But the Jazz have also signed former Indiana Pacers sharpshooter Bogdanovich.
The older Bogdanovich.
4 years, $73 million. Sharpshooter. Can play a little D.
Listen, hey.
Him and Ingles out there.
When Oladipo went down,
yeah, boy turned it up. He turned it up.
He could get a bucket now.
So what are your thoughts on what Utah doing out there? The addition of Bogdanovich, the addition, of course, of Mike Conley Jr.
Well, they also waived Derek Favors.
Derek Favors, possibly getting up a member of the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah. You know, he's from here, so he went to college at Georgia Tech, so. They're gonna be a good team. They're gonna be a tough team. You know, you got Rudy Gobert.
Their coach Quinn Snyder, another gentleman who came from the Coach Bud tree, was an assistant coach here with the Atlanta Hawks.
You got Dante Exum. You can't forget about him.
I want to see his game grow.
If he can stay healthy, he'll be good.
Yeah, Cat got a lot of potential.
if Dante Exum can stay healthy with Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Joe Ingles, they still got Thabo Cephalosha.
The Air Max 90 King. Thabo.
Rudy Gobert. Bogdanovich.
They got a hell of a lineup.
They got a
lot of teams, lot of lineups they could put out there.
Yeah, like if you really wanted to, you come out there and just shoot the lights out if you want to. But they got a lot. They got like sneaky good players. Like a lot of people don't. Like a lot of people sleep on them. Like a lot of people don't know nothing about Bogdanovich or Joe Ingles and nothing like that. But like they're good.
Joe Ingles gritty.
Joe Ingles can get buckets like, and talk some shit too.
That's that Australian toughness.
So I think they're a sleeper team as well. Like I said, the West. There's going to be no easy nights with the West because every team it seems like they either stood pat or they improved. Even Phoenix. So
I agree. I like the grittiness of the Utah Jazz as you hit it on the head. Quinn Snyder. Now he has some seasoning in the cabinet. You know, to go ahead and get that chicken and get that steak together out
he
there.
He got some Cajun season for that bland ass food out there in Utah.
So I like that, and I like the potential and what the Utah Jazz could be. The addition of them two cats may be clutch. They may be key to not only getting Utah back, you know, returning and keeping the playoff push going, but maybe see them actually pushing for a title. You know,
I mean, when you are one of the better defensive teams in the league, and then that you only got better. Because you replaced Rubio with Mike Conley. So Mike Conley is a better defender. He may not be as good of a playmaker as Rubio, but he's a better scorer. So that takes a little bit of pressure off
a better
of
defender.
Yeah. That takes a little bit of pressure off of Donovan Mitchell as well. So Donovan Mitchell can be a little more free. He's not the only person who can just go off. So now you have Donovan Mitchell. He may have an off night. You may be able to just say, okay, well, Bogdanovich gave me 18. You know, Joe Ingles gave me 20. I don't know. So you got different options. You're deep now. This is a scary good team, and a lot of people are gonna sleep on them because a lot of people aren't gonna pay attention to them.
I agree.
They don't get a lot of play on TV for the games or whatever unless they're playing somebody else. Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be one of those situations like, damn, the playoffs. Utah third seed. How the hell that happen? And then they come in here and knock off somebody you like.
Okay, see some sort.
Yeah. You'd be like, damn, Russ, get a bucket.
You just mentioned Ricky Rubio. Ricky Rubio has departed from the Utah Jazz. So Ricky Rubio will no longer be running a port in Utah. Ricky Rubio has agreed to a 3-year deal, 3 years, $51 million with the Phoenix Suns. So we'll now see a backcourt in which features Rubio as well as Devin Booker, and we'll possibly have the opportunities of seeing Rubio help DeAndre Ayton's game and getting him the ball in places he may like it in the post and feeding him the ball during fast breaks and in alley-oops. Phoenix has a lot of young potential out there. Of course, they're building in the West, but they've needed a point guard. A point guard have been a point of need for some time.
Well, since maybe
they've been collecting point guards, but just not using them right.
Yeah, they've had like, I remember, what was it, Brandon Knight, Isaiah Thomas, and what's Buddy from Eric Bledsoe? They had all three of them.
Bledsoe was there.
Yeah, they had all three of them on the team, and it was just like, what are y'all doing?
They haven't been using them right.
But I think Phoenix. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say they're gonna go to the playoffs or anything, but like you said, they have been missing a point guard for quite some time. I think it helps Devin Booker. It takes a little bit of pressure of the playmaking off of him. You also still have Michael Bridges there. They drafted last year, DeAndre Ayton. You just got Aaron Baines in the trade with the Celtics. You got Troy Daniels. He's a shooter. Josh Jackson, if he can ever get an offensive game, he may be able to contribute.
Hopefully. Stop trying to, he sneak into different places and shit.
You also Dario Saric.
Oh, I forgot about Dario.
Got him too. So Kelly Oubre,
journeyman Dario.
So they're another team that they can be any given night. They can beat somebody. So you got to watch out for them. They're still really young. Cam Johnson from UNC, drafted him 11. Everybody saw the reaction. What's his name had? Kobe White had when that happened. But Ricky Rubio, I think he'll help set all them up. Because he may not be a great scorer or a great defender, but Buddy can dime. Buddy can drop dimes. So he can help a lot of people. Tyler Johnson, they got him too. Mm-hmm. I forgot about that.
So they could possibly be making moves. Peace and blessing to our Miami resident, Groovy Lou.
Hopefully,
much love, good brother.
Jimmy Buckets get to y'all.
Yeah, we'll see and keep updated from our Miami sources on what Jimmy Buckets would do. The Milwaukee Bucks are kind of looking to run it back, I guess you could say. They made a splash that we'll talk about in a moment concerning them, but the Milwaukee Bucks did re-sign 2 players. Coach Bud and Giannis will have the services of Brook Lopez returning to Milwaukee. So Brook Lopez has agreed to a 4-year, $52 million deal to re-sign with the Milwaukee Bucks. Brook Lopez, once again, 4-year, $52 million deal to re-sign with the Milwaukee Bucks. Also, his running mate, Chris Middleton,
fellow All-Star,
had decided to re-sign. A lot of people were wondering would Middleton leave. The Sixers, the Lakers had a couple teams that were looking to sign him. Chris Middleton will be returning to the Milwaukee Bucks on a 5-year, $178 million deal. So you have Middleton returning, you have Brook Lopez returning. What are your thoughts on what the Milwaukee Bucks are doing?
Well, you're the number 1 seed for a reason last year. We'll talk about Brogdon later, but you needed to do this because this is not just about your team right now. You also have to think about Giannis is coming up to get paid next year. So let's say you let Chris Middleton go, Brook Lopez go. Giannis can easily come in and say, well, I don't think you guys are invested in winning. So why would I stay here long term? Because he's going to be eligible for this Supermax. So that's another 5-year, $221 that you're going to have to pay. But you got to keep Chris Middleton because he's the only other person who can get his own buckets. Brook Lopez, you got to keep him because he's one of those rarefied fives that can stretch the floor. And being that Giannis, hopefully he can develop a jump shot this offseason. But being that his main offensive focus is to get to the hole, Brook Lopez gives you the ability to have a center that doesn't have to be in there with it, the crowd to paint. So I think you re-sign the 2 people who are most important outside of Giannis to your team.
We just spoke on Malcolm Brogdon and the news we will let know. So Malcolm Brogdon has agreed to a deal with the Indiana Pacers. Former Milwaukee Bucks point guard Malcolm Brogdon has agreed to a deal with the Pacers. It'll be a sign and trade, so the Pacers they'll give the Bucks a 1st and 2nd round draft pick in the near coming future. So
they're giving them a first and
a 2nd in the future.
Round.
And Brogdon will end up signing a 4-year, $85 million deal. So once again, to give you the perspectives on that, former Milwaukee Bucks point guard Malcolm Brogdon will be signing with the Indiana Pacers. That'll give the Pacers, after the All-Star break, a backcourt of Oladipo and Brogdon, because Oladipo looks to return about the All-Star break or after the All-Star break.
About January, February.
It'll be a sign and trade, so the Bucks will trade Brogdon to Indiana. Indiana will send the Bucks a 1st and 2 second future picks, and Brogdon will sign a 4-year, $85 million deal. Also have to throw out there that George Hill has just re-signed with the Milwaukee Bucks. So the Bucks will be keeping George Hill, Brook Lopez, as well as Chris Middleton. Malcolm Brogdon is heading to Indiana. What are your thoughts about Brogdon headed to Indiana?
I don't know what the Lakers doing. But Brogdon going to Indiana, that's going to be dope. Because I know we said Oladipo, he won't be back until probably February, maybe March. But they also got Jeremy Lamb.
That was another thing we went through out there. Jeremy Lamb is now a member of the Indiana Pacers.
Another
Jeremy
one
Lamb,
from
Gwinnett and UConn.
Yeah.
So sharpshooter Jeremy Lamb, 3-year, $31.5 million. Continue what you were saying, sir.
So you still have that holdover because we all know that what's Buddy name from Memphis got in trouble, suspended. Guard they had last year. Anyway, yeah, but I'm gonna remember Tyreke Evans.
Oh, okay,
we know
Tariq.
we know Tariq Evans not gonna be there. So getting Jeremy Lamb, that's a good pickup. You still got Wesley Matthews. They did draft the center from the country of Georgia. So everybody who thought he went to the University of Georgia, no, he is from the country of Georgia. But so having Malcolm Brogdon, Aaron Holiday, he's another year in the league. Remember, can't forget about him. Corey Josephs, to still have him. Jeremy Lamb, Wesley Matthews. You have a deep backcourt. So when Oladipo gets back, all you pretty much is saying like, hey Vic, carry us to the playoffs, like carry us the rest of the way. So you don't have to worry about too much. That's another team that they can be good. They also, I forgot about that, they got T.J. Warren on draft night. So that's another one. So the Pacers quietly have become one of the top 5 teams in the East right now, I'd say.
I can't disagree with you. I mean, they were top 4 or 5 seed, even still with Victor Oladipo getting hurt last season. Yep. So I honestly,
they did lose Bogdanovich, but
they'll find a way, as you mentioned, Warren. They'll find a way to pick up those points in those minutes. It could work out very well for Indiana. The NBA in the East in itself just today has already been turned upside down in a frenzy.
On his ear.
Former Boston Celtics guard Terry Rozier has also agreed to a new deal. Terry Rozier has agreed to a 3-year, $58 million deal to take Kemba Walker's place in Charlotte. So he'll be the new starting point guard for the Charlotte Hornets.
I've been waiting for this. So when are we going to talk about – I know – listen, Michael Jordan, he is your GOAT. I understand that. But he got to be one of the worst owners. And I hate to say that because he's the only black owner. And I'm like, damn. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing down there? Like, these moves are just questionable from the jump. And so, Terry Rozier, I think he's a good player. I do. But we also have never seen him start for anybody for an elongated amount of time. We saw him start in the playoffs, but that was because people were hurt. We also saw him play in Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals and have, 11 points? So it's like you don't know exactly what you're going to get from him. Now, you're saving maybe $11, $12 million on your point guard. Cool. Understandable. You want to stay under the luxury tax, but the only reason you want to stay under the luxury tax is because you don't think you're going to go to the playoffs. So maybe you should develop your roster and get to the playoffs. Because you know and I know the people of Charlotte will support the team. You'll have people come to the game. But if you trash like you were last year, even though you had an all-star on your team and you hosted the all-star game, which we went to, they're going to look at the team like, all right, we got other stuff to do. We ain't got time for this, da-da-da-da. So maybe you probably should have just kept Kemba with this Supermax and tried to make some more moves to get your roster together.
No lies there. I'm not mad at that, but I mean, Charlotte's going to be Charlotte, and now they're in a rebuilding stage. They had a lot of horrible contracts out there, of course.
Terrible.
That was part of the reason why they couldn't really give Kemba that money.
But who gave him these contracts? Like
Mike and Rich
yo, what you doing?
And Mike. And
you got Mitch Kupchak out there, just like, yo, what's up, Mike?
It was interesting.
He doing too much in these dad jeans. Go ahead.
Few trades a few deals rather that we knew were pretty much going to take place that have taken place. Kristaps Porzingis and the Dallas Mavericks, 5 years, $158 million.
Had to do that.
What are your thoughts on Porzingis, the unicorn, and Luka having a chance that your rookie of the year? Luka not
Hey,
You know what I'm saying? We'll give him some love on that. Dirk most likely
Dirk
be hanging it up
here
and moving into a new role. Dallas still has some money to spend, but
a little bit.
Porzingis will get an opportunity out there in the Triple D. What are your thoughts on that?
I know Dallas wants to put a playmaking point guard next to Luka, but this was a move that we all knew was going to happen because they gave up too much to get him. So it was more one of those situations, just kind of like how Philly, they gave up a lot to get Jimmy Butler. That's why you think it makes sense to go ahead and just re-sign him. So I think with the Unicorn, you got to re-sign him. Even though he didn't play that last year, you know, you have to re-sign him to this contract because you got your European connection. Mm-hmm. You know, they like their European players out there in Dallas. So this is what you want. This is what you get. Now, they still have some things they need to work out in terms of building this roster out. Of course, you know, they have Tim out there, Tim Hardaway Jr. I think he's a good player. But I wouldn't be afraid of them this upcoming season just because, you know, you got Kristaps coming back from injury. You don't know how that's going to go. Luka, we got to see if he makes a jump from first year to second year. You know, usually people have a little rough of a sophomore year. And you don't really have much around them. So we got to see what they do in free agency, see if they can, you know, come up big on some free agents, see if they can do some sleeper moves. But in the West, like I said, there's not going to be not one easy night, so it's going to be rough for them. So they're going to have to do something or they're going to end up in the lottery again next year. So
staying in the West, of course, the New Orleans Pelicans made a lot of moves. Anthony Davis leaving New Orleans. The Pelicans having an opportunity to draft Zion Williamson.
And restock the cup.
With the number 1 overall pick. Lonzo Ball now there. Brandon Ingram now there.
Josh Hart.
Former 76ers sharpshooter J.J. Redick has agreed to a deal. David Griffin is just making all type of moves down in New Orleans. J.J. Redick has agreed to a 2-year, $26.5 million deal with the New Orleans Pelicans. So the sharpshooter J.J. Redick will be heading down to the Big Easy. Better get familiar with the good people down there, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
get
you some beignets.
Yes, indeed. The great people in New
But
Orleans.
you got to get it with the powdered sugar now. So
yeah, don't cheat yourself, JJ. Get extra powdered sugar.
Got to get the beignets. Got to get the po' boys.
What do you think about JJ? His veteran leadership that will possibly come to play in New Orleans, and the fact with a guard like Lonzo Ball who can see the floor and create for others, having a player like Zion Williamson who will eventually create double teams and will just be a force in the paint. What do you think about the addition of Redick?
Well, I think it's a good move.
Are you surprised that he left Philly?
I am surprised he left Philly, especially because he lives in Brooklyn, if I'm not mistaken. He lives in New York and he commutes to Philly. So I'm thinking like, okay, well, he's probably stay out. I'm thinking he'll stay in Philly. And I'm thinking Philly's going to do more to keep him because he's a very important part to their success. Now, him going down there, this just further, I think David Griffin is out here trying to get this this award for what is it?
GM of the year.
GM of the year
already.
He's trying to get this GM of the year award before the season starts because you know you flip basically Anthony Davis for Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, the dude from Texas, the center from Texas. You basically flip Anthony Davis for like 5 people and 3 more picks to go into the future. You got Zion, Jahlil Okafor is still there. So you bring in J.J. Redick, that's just more shooting. Especially for a team that you don't know who's going to really be able to shoot. Josh Hart, he can shoot a little bit, but I wouldn't say he's a sharpshooter. Zion, I don't think he can shoot outside of that set shot. They had Elfrid Payton. I don't know if they're going to re-sign him or not. Drew Holiday, he can get buckets. Lonzo, he can't shoot. And we don't even really truly know what Brandon Ingram's going to do with these blood clots. So we'll have to see about that. But I think New Orleans, if everything rolls right, they can be a playoff team again. That's after trading probably the franchise's best player ever. So we'll see how it goes.
A lot of speculation going on right now. There has been no confirmation of Klay Thompson re-signing with the Warriors yet. We know that the deal has been already offered to him 5 years, $190 million. It was said that he's prepared to sign and to make, the announcement at 6 o'clock. 2 hours in.
It's 8.
And no word from Klay yet. I still think he'll be signing with Golden State, but
that'd be a fool to let him go.
That'll be interesting to see. Just to dive into it real quick, I want to ask you, while we were out, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, of course, making a union in Los Angeles. What are your thoughts about what the Lakers could possibly do?
Well, like we were talking about off camera, I don't know what the Lakers are doing, because it's literally been at least 5 players that I'm looking at and I'm like, damn, they could have went to the Lakers. I was thinking, if you get Malcolm Brogdon and maybe a Patrick Beverly, yeah, that might be your whole $32 million, but you can fill out the roster after that, because Malcolm Brogdon, Patrick Beverly, 2 great defenders as guards. You don't have any guards right now. So
Alex Caruso.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like the Lakers, cool move, but you kind of still handicapped yourself from having that inexperience in the front office. Rob Pelinka not even thinking about post dating the trade. You know what I mean? Even though maybe New Orleans wouldn't even do it, but he didn't even. The reports are he didn't even discuss it. Like he was just. It's almost like he went to the store. It was like, oh snap, y'all got this in stock. Let me buy it, and didn't even think, oh damn, I could have went to this other store and got it for $5 cheaper. Like all he thought was, okay, cool, let's get Anthony Davis. But you went from having. Did you even think about the trade kicker? Did you even think about if you post date the trade, you'll have $32 million plus you'll still have Mo Wagner, Isaac Bonga. Like, that's 2 people on your roster that maybe they're not going to play. Maybe they don't contribute, but that's 2 people, 2 spots less that you have to fill. Now the Lakers fans have to rely on Rob Pelinka, who's already showed his incompetence multiple times, to fill out a roster. You're waiting on Kawhi Leonard. I'm going to tell you right now, Kawhi Leonard is not going to L.A. Not for the Lakers. He may go to the Clippers. He's not going to the Lakers. You need to spend this 32, fill out this roster, get some shooting, some depth. Because when it comes, as we're seeing now, the one thing we keep saying is, dang, they deep. Dang, they just got deep. Dang. It's not going to be an easy night out here. LeBron's not going to play 82 games. AD's not going to play 82 games. You need to fill this roster out with a team that you feel like, well, if LeBron don't play tonight, AD can make it happen with the rest of the team. Or if AD don't play, Bron can figure it out and get us this W for the rest of the team. Now, if they go out and get D'Angelo Russell, since Kyrie's going to Brooklyn, they're probably going to renounce him. If they go out and get D'Angelo Russell, maybe at like a 22 mil a year, you'll still have 10 mils left to spend. Okay, I can get behind that. You got a guard who can play off the ball a little bit, and he can also help LeBron when it comes with the playmaking. But the Lakers are, just because they got 80 does not mean they're not dysfunctional. We'll just say that.
I dig it. I respect that. I can respect that. With all the noise and all the speculation that's taking place so far today, of course, we still don't know where D'Angelo will land. Klay Thompson hasn't officially made his decision yet.
Pay that man.
Jimmy Butler, Al Horford, Kawhi Leonard. What's been the biggest splash? What are you most excited to see so far as we get ready to, get gear up and hear more news, but see how these rosters shape out for the 2019-2020 NBA season? I'm
more excited to see in terms of like free agency.
Just period. What are you excited to see when the season tips off in October? What are you excited to see? Are you excited to see how the Pelicans form? Are you excited to see the Nets as they await Kevin Durant? Are you excited to see what the Lake Show turns into? Are you excited to see how Dub Nation turns out? What are you excited to see after the moves that have been made so far, draft, and the first few hours of free agency? What are you most excited to see as we get geared up for the upcoming 2019-2020 season?
Two things. I'm excited to see what the Lakers look like. And I'm also excited to see what our young Hawks look like. Because I think that Evan Turner trade is perfect for what we want to do and what we need. So, those are my two things. The Lakers and – because I know H think they're going to win this chip this year.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
I'm interested to see how these bandwagons shift. Because there'll be, of course, a lot of new Laker fans. There will damn sure be a Nets nation now. A whole bunch of new.
It's gonna be so. Listen, if I was like somebody who worked at Coogee, just re-release everything.
It's
just re-release everything right now, like with Brooklyn stuff on it.
Yeah,
Like,
Brooklyn is be taking to new heights. Of course, our Hawks. I'm damn sure.
I'm excited.
To see what they do.
Cam, Hunter. I'm excited to see them. Trey another year in. John another year in. Evan playmaking. Let Trey get off the ball a little bit. I'm excited to see that. I think the Hawks got a chance to be sneaky good too. I think we need another big though.
I mean,
we got like $9 million to spend.
Yeah, they got a little money. Their play time will come next season. Next off season.
We'll see. You right though, because we're gonna have like 70 million.
Next off season, they'll have the highest cap to pretty much offer. So
I don't know who's gonna be free agents next year, but we'll see.
I mean, in 2 years it'll be Giannis, so you never know how things shape out. Before we go, H, how you feeling? Are you a Nets fan? Are you still Knicks all day, baby?
You ain't got no Coogee? Brooklyn ain't in the house?
If it weren't for Brooklyn, New York won't be relevant.
The Knicks.
Once again, big news. Kevin Durant, Kyrie, Irving, DeAndre Jordan all headed to Brooklyn. Julius Randle headed to the New York Knicks. Kemba Walker headed to the Celtics. So much more. We'll be keeping you up to date. I'm Terrell Thomas.
Cregg Armstrong.
We thank you very much for tuning in to our These Urban Times Live Hip Hop Daily NBA Free Agency Special. We'll continue to keep you up to date on all of our social media pages. These Urban Times, Live Hip Hop Daily, and Eldorado 2452 on any breaking news. We'll let you know where Kawhi Leonard ends up and a whole lot more. Stay tuned.